The greatest don't just work harder, they work smarter. They sharpen their axe, listen before they speak, and lead through humility, not ego. Real power isn't loud, it's quiet accountability. It's knowing when you're the problem and choosing to grow. Because in the end, it's not the title, the perks, or the spotlight. It's how you serve, how you think, and how you rise when no one's watching. In the pursuit of mastery, there's a common misconception that constant, unyielding effort is the key to success. The first lumberjack in this story represents this mindset. He chops wood relentlessly, believing that the more he works, the more he'll accomplish. He's caught in the grind, convinced that pushing himself to the limit will bring the results he desires. But the second lumberjack, though working fewer hours, understands something profound. He takes breaks not because he is lazy, but because he recognizes the value of sharpening his axe. Every time he stops to rest and reflect, he's renewing his strength, gaining clarity, and refining his skills. He knows that without sharpening his axe, his efforts become less effective and his results diminish. It's not about how much time he spends swinging the axe. It's about how sharp it is when he swings it. This story isn't just about physical work. It's a metaphor for life, for mastery in any field. Constant effort without reflection, rest, or renewal leads to burnout, inefficiency, and stagnation. Mastery isn't just about hard work. It's about working smart. It's about understanding that rest, reflection, and renewal are as essential to success as the work itself. Rest isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. When you push yourself too hard without taking the time to recharge, you risk diminishing your effectiveness. Rest and reflection give you the space to evaluate your progress, adjust your approach, and sharpen your skills. This is where real growth happens, not in the endless grind, but in the moments of stillness, when you step back, breathe, and gain the perspective necessary to move forward more effectively. Mastery is a process, not a destination. To become great at anything, you need to work consistently, but you also need to take time to recharge and refine your approach. Without rest, your efforts will start to lose their sharpness, and your progress will slow. The key to true mastery is knowing when to push forward and when to pause, reflect, and renew. So as you pursue your own journey toward mastery, remember, it's not just about how much you do, it's about how well you do it. Like the second lumberjack, take the time to sharpen your axe, because that's when you'll truly outperform your competition. Rest, reflect, and renew, for it is in those moments of pause that your greatest breakthroughs are often found. Life presents us with opportunities every day, but how we perceive them makes all the difference. Imagine walking into a room where there's a line for bagels. Some people see only the obstacle, the line, the wait, the inconvenience. They're focused on the time loss, the frustration of waiting, and the problem in front of them. Their energy is consumed by the delay, and they miss the opportunity right before them, the bagel itself, the reward at the end of the wait. But then there are others, the winners, the achievers. They see something different. Instead of focusing on the line, they focus on the opportunity. They see the bagel, the chance to get what they want, the reward at the end of the wait. They understand that every challenge, every delay, is simply a step towards something greater. They don't dwell on what's in their way. They focus on what they can gain and how to move toward it. The key to winning is focusing on the right things. While the world around you is fixated on the obstacles, winners focus on what they can take from the situation. They understand that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, learn, or gain something valuable. They don't waste time complaining about the obstacles. Instead, they leverage them, turning them into stepping stones that bring them closer to their goals. Winners also understand the importance of balance. They take what they need, but they don't do so at the expense of others. In the bagel example, they don't rush to grab the last one, leaving others without. True success isn't about taking everything for yourself. It's about knowing what you need and making sure others have their fair chance too. Success is about creating a win-win scenario, recognizing that there's enough to go around and that everyone deserves an opportunity to succeed. The message here is clear. Don't get lost in the obstacles or distractions that others see. Focus on the opportunities that are right in front of you. Every challenge, every line is just part of the journey. The true winners are those who focus on the reward, move forward with purpose, and ensure that others have the chance to do the same. In the end, it's not about denying anyone else the opportunity. It's about seizing your own without taking away from theirs. In life, we often admire toughness and talent. We idolize those who seem unshakable, those who perform effortlessly, and those who rise above challenges with raw skill or strength. But true strength isn't found in the surface-level qualities of toughness or talent. It's found in the depths of service, especially when you have nothing left to give. True strength reveals itself when you're running on empty, when you've exhausted all your energy, and when the world around you is demanding more than you think you can give. It's in those moments, when you feel like you can't take another step for yourself, that the real measure of strength is shown. The ability to keep going, to dig deep and help others even when you feel drained, is the essence of true power. Service isn't about what's easy. It's about what's needed. It's about sacrificing your comfort, your time, your energy, even when you're running low on all three. True strength is not just about enduring your own hardships. It's about showing up for others in their time of need, even when you feel like you have nothing left to offer. It's in giving when it's hardest, being there when you feel like you can barely stand on your own, and lifting others up even when you're struggling to stay on your own feet. This is where the deepest form of strength lies, in selfless service. It's easy to be tough when things are going well, when you're full of energy and motivation, and when success comes easy. But the true test of character comes when the situation is dire, when the world feels heavy, and when you have every reason to give up or turn inward. Real strength is not in how much you can lift for yourself, but in how much you can give to others when you feel like you can't give anything at all. Service, in its purest form, is an act of love, courage, and humility. It requires you to set aside your own struggles and pour into someone else's. It's about finding power in weakness and growing stronger through your capacity to help. In those moments, when you feel like you're at your breaking point, and yet you reach out and help someone else, that's where the magic happens. That's where you truly find your power. Remember, strength is not measured by what you can achieve for yourself. It's measured by what you can do for others when you have nothing left to give. True power lies in the service you offer, especially when it feels impossible. When you serve from a place of exhaustion, with no expectation of return, you unlock a strength within you that is limitless. Leadership isn't about speaking the loudest or asserting authority at every turn. True leadership is rooted in listening and understanding that the voices and perspectives of those you lead are just as important as your own. A great leader knows that before offering your thoughts, before rushing to make decisions, you must first listen. When you withhold your opinion until everyone has spoken, you create an environment of trust. People will begin to see that their ideas are valued, that their input matters, and that they have a voice in the process. Trust isn't given, it's earned. When you listen before speaking, you demonstrate respect for others and their experiences. You show that you're open to learning and that you view leadership as a shared journey, not a solitary one. In turn, people will trust you more, follow your lead with greater commitment, and contribute more openly. But it's not just about earning trust. Listening before speaking also allows you to make wiser, more informed decisions. When you listen to everyone's perspective, you gather a wealth of information that you might otherwise miss. You gain a fuller understanding of the situation and the challenges at hand. This insight helps you make decisions that are not only more effective, but also more compassionate and considerate of all parties involved. Leadership is about seeing the whole picture. If you're quick to speak or act, you risk missing crucial details that others bring to the table. By taking the time to listen, you open yourself up to different viewpoints, new ideas, and innovative solutions that you might not have considered on your own. The best decisions are made not in isolation, but with input from those who understand the nuances of the situation. In the end, great leaders are not those who have all the answers right away. They are the ones who create an environment where everyone feels heard, valued, and empowered to contribute. When you listen first and speak last, you lead with wisdom, and in doing so, you elevate those around you. This approach not only strengthens the trust between you and your team, but it also leads to better, more thoughtful decisions that benefit everyone. In the 19th century, doctors were causing deaths, not because of negligence or malice, but because they were unaware of a critical truth: the importance of washing their hands. Despite clear signs that infection rates were linked to unwashed hands, many doctors continued their practices, blind to the problem right in front of them. This oversight, this blind spot led to unnecessary deaths, and it wasn't until Ignaz Semmelweis pushed for hand hygiene that the truth came to light and lives were saved. This serves as a profound reminder in every area of life and work. Blind spots can destroy progress. When we are unaware of the harmful habits, biases, or practices we carry with us, we continue to make decisions and take actions that might hinder our growth, success, or even our well-being. The danger of a blind spot is that we don't see it. It's easy to look outward and blame external circumstances, other people, or even the world. But real progress begins with an honest self-assessment. The real question to ask is, where am I the problem? If things aren't progressing the way you want them to, if success is eluding you, or things aren't aligning as they should, the first place to look is within. It's not about blaming yourself, but about becoming self-aware. Take a step back and reflect. What am I missing? What assumptions am I making? What habits or mindsets am I holding on to that could be sabotaging my own success? Just like doctors refusing to wash their hands, there may be something you're overlooking, something critical that's standing in the way of your progress. To improve, to grow, and to truly move forward, we must challenge ourselves to confront these blind spots. It requires humility, self-awareness, and the willingness to ask tough questions. The key to breaking through to new levels of success or fulfillment often lies in seeing things differently, in questioning the actions or beliefs we've held on to for too long. In the same way that washing hands revolutionized medicine, addressing your blind spots can revolutionize your life. Once you identify them, you can take action to correct them, improve your approach, and move forward with a clearer, more focused path to progress. Noah had two jobs, one he loved and one he dreaded. Despite being the same person in both roles, the difference in his experience came down to one key factor: the environment. At one job, Noah felt valued, respected, and heard. He felt a sense of purpose and connection with his team, which fueled his passion and drive. But at the other job, despite similar tasks and similar skills, Noah felt invisible, overlooked, and unimportant. This stark contrast wasn't about the nature of the work itself. It was about the culture of each environment. Culture isn't about the perks. It's not about the free snacks, the fancy office spaces, or the Instagram-worthy workspaces. While perks may add to the overall experience, they don't define the heart of a company's culture. The true essence of culture lies in how people feel at the core of the work they do and the interactions they have within the team. It's about making people feel seen, valued, and understood. It's about creating an environment where people know their contributions matter and where they can bring their full selves to the table. When people feel seen, they become more engaged, more motivated, and more willing to contribute their best work. This is what creates a thriving, high-performing culture, not the perks, but the emotional connection, the sense of belonging, and the recognition of each individual's unique value. When people feel like their ideas and efforts are acknowledged, they feel more empowered, more loyal, and more driven to succeed. On the other hand, when people feel overlooked, dismissed, or isolated, it breeds disengagement, frustration, and a lack of passion for the work. No matter how good the perks are, a toxic or neglectful environment can suffocate creativity, productivity, and morale. People begin to feel like just another cog in the machine, leading to burnout, turnover, and an overall lack of fulfillment. So, when you think about culture, whether it's in a company, a team, or any group setting, remember this. It's about how people feel. Do they feel like they matter? Are their voices heard? Do they feel appreciated and understood? A positive culture doesn't require grand gestures. It requires the intentional effort to see people for who they truly are and to create an environment where they can thrive. Ultimately, the difference between Noah loving one job and dreading the other came down to this fundamental truth. Culture is about people, not perks. When you make others feel seen and valued, you build a culture where people can thrive, grow, and contribute their best selves. And that, more than any perk or benefit, is the true foundation of success. In life, we often place value on external symbols of success, things like fancy cars, prestigious job titles, and material possessions. These are the ceramic cups of life, outward representations of what we've achieved, the trappings of success that the world notices. But these symbols are for your title, not for your true self. They are simply props, markers of where you've been or where you are, but they do not define who you are at your core. It's easy to get caught up in the allure of these external rewards. Success can feel like a trophy, a physical manifestation of your hard work and ambition. But here's the truth. Success doesn't make you valuable, your worth is inherent. No amount of money, status, or recognition can truly define your value as a person. The privilege that comes with success is not the same as personal worth. These things may give you a platform, but they do not give you purpose. They may open doors, but they don't shape your character. Real success lies not in what you have, but in who you are. The true test of a person's worth comes from their values, actions, and integrity, not their bank balance or their business card. Success is about the internal, not the external. It's about your mindset, your ability to rise above adversity, and the way you treat others. It's about the humility to recognize that while you may have achieved something great, you are still the same person you were before the accolades. There's a powerful reminder in this idea. Enjoy success, celebrate your achievements, but don't allow them to inflate your sense of self-worth. The more you let external successes define you, the more you risk losing yourself when those things are no longer there. True power comes from within, and it is built on the foundation of your character, your kindness, and your resilience, not the ceramic cups that reflect what you've earned. In a world obsessed with outward validation, remember this: your worth is not in your title, your possessions, or your accolades. It is in the quiet, unseen moments of integrity, generosity, and self-awareness. Never confuse privilege with personal worth, and always remember that the deepest form of success is being true to yourself regardless of what you've achieved or how the world perceives you. In today's world, social media has become a double-edged sword. It connects us, entertains us, and provides a platform for self-expression, but it can also serve as a trap, feeding into an addiction that prevents real personal growth and genuine connections. Social media addiction often reflects a deeper issue: adolescence without coping skills. It's as if we're constantly trying to fill the emotional voids of our lives with likes, comments, and notifications, looking for validation and connection without the ability to handle the emotional complexities of true relationships. Social media addiction is not just about spending too much time online. It's about using these platforms as a crutch, trying to escape from the real-world challenges we face. It's like living in a perpetual state of adolescence, a time when we haven't fully developed the coping skills we need to face life's difficulties. Yet we're constantly bombarded by the pressures of others' lives and opinions. Instead of growing into emotionally resilient adults, many of us turn to social media for quick fixes, looking for external validation to temporarily soothe our internal insecurities. But real relationships that have depth and meaning, require more than just surface-level interactions. They require practice, patience, and emotional maturity. In the digital world, it's easy to create a perfect image of ourselves, to present only the best version of our lives, and to filter out anything that doesn't align with that narrative. But these curated portrayals are not real relationships. They are like virtual facades, built on the fragility of likes and followers, not the foundation of real human connection. True relationships demand that we show up authentically, even when it's messy. They require vulnerability, compromise, and the willingness to work through challenges, something social media often discourages. Instead of confronting issues, we can hide behind screens, blocking people, or scrolling endlessly through distractions. But the more we rely on filters and cancellations, the more we distance ourselves from the skills that make real relationships flourish. Empathy, active listening, emotional availability, and the ability to handle conflict. Building and maintaining real relationships takes time and effort. It means showing up when it's hard, sticking around even when things get complicated, and having the courage to engage in meaningful, face-to-face conversations. It's about being present, not just online, but in the lives of those we care about. Ultimately, social media addiction is a reflection of deeper emotional gaps, a way of avoiding the hard work required to build solid, healthy relationships. If we want meaningful connections, we have to stop relying on digital crutches and start investing in the real practice of understanding, communicating, and growing together. True connection isn't about the number of likes or followers. It's about the depth of the relationships we nurture and the courage to confront the reality of ourselves and others without the filters. We've all heard the phrase, "I love my job," but for too many people, that feeling seems as rare as winning the lottery. The reality is, loving your job shouldn't be a stroke of luck. It should be the norm. Every single person deserves to wake up excited, inspired, and motivated by the work they do. Not because they got lucky, but because their workplace fosters an environment where passion, growth, and humanity thrive. The problem is, many workplaces today are focused on profit over people, output over well-being, and efficiency over connection. Employees are often seen as mere cogs in a machine, expected to churn out results without consideration for their personal growth, mental health, or sense of fulfillment. But work isn't just about paying bills or clocking in hours. It's about meaning, purpose, and growth. A truly great job isn't a lottery win. It's a space where passion thrives. It's a place where people feel safe, supported, and encouraged to grow. Workplaces should be environments where employees are not only valued for what they produce, but for who they are, their ideas, their creativity, their uniqueness. A place where personal and professional growth is prioritized, and employees are encouraged to learn, evolve, and expand their potential. A safe environment means that employees feel secure to express themselves, take risks, and explore new possibilities without fear of judgment or repercussion. But a thriving workplace isn't just about being comfortable, it's about growth. Employees should be given opportunities to learn new skills, take on new challenges, and evolve in their careers. When people feel they're growing, their passion naturally follows. When they can see themselves moving forward, they begin to truly engage in their work, bringing their full selves to every task, every project, and every interaction. Growth isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for maintaining the drive and enthusiasm that makes work meaningful. Human-centered workplaces focus on the well-being of the person, not just the role they occupy. It means caring about employees' health, happiness, and fulfillment. It means offering flexibility, promoting work-life balance, and recognizing the importance of mental and emotional well-being. When workplaces create an environment where people feel valued as human beings, not just workers, they cultivate passion, loyalty, and a stronger sense of purpose. It's time we demand workplaces that aren't just about punching a clock or surviving the day. We should expect and create environments where passion isn't a lottery. We should advocate for workplaces that are safe, growth-focused, and human-centered, where employees are nurtured, empowered, and encouraged to bring their best selves to work every day. If we want people to love their jobs, we need to create places where love for the work can thrive. This isn't a wish, it's a right. A great job isn't a stroke of luck. It's a result of a culture that values passion, growth, and the humanity of each individual. We often hear that success comes from hard work. The real question is, what are you working hard for? Hard work, when directed towards something you hate, becomes a source of stress, burnout, and frustration. It feels like you're always fighting against the current, pushing yourself through every task with a sense of dread. The result is exhaustion, both physically and mentally, and a constant feeling of being unfulfilled. No matter how hard you push, it feels like you're running in place, going through the motions without ever truly reaching your destination. But when hard work is directed towards something you love, it transforms into passion. Passion fuels your work. It makes every challenge feel like an opportunity for growth, every setback an obstacle to overcome, and every achievement a meaningful step in your journey. Hard work becomes energizing when you're doing what you love. It's no longer a grind, but a pursuit that excites you, motivates you, and keeps you going even when the going gets tough. Passion makes the labor feel lighter and more purposeful. The key difference between stress and passion lies in the why behind your efforts. When you're working hard for something that doesn't align with your true desires or values, you feel stuck. There's no sense of fulfillment, no connection to the work itself. You're simply working for the reward, whether that's money, approval, or just to get through the day. But when your work aligns with your passions, the journey itself becomes as rewarding as the destination. Choosing what to work hard for is crucial. Choose something that excites you, challenges you, and ignites a fire within you. When you love what you do, the obstacles become stepping stones, and the hard work becomes part of the adventure. You'll find yourself motivated by the progress, energized by the purpose, and enriched by the experience. So, ask yourself, are you working hard because you have to, or because you want to? Life is too short to pour effort into something that doesn't bring you joy or meaning. When you choose wisely, when you channel your energy into something you love, hard work becomes a source of passion, not stress. And that's the difference between just surviving and truly thriving. The world doesn't just reward hard work. It rewards those who sharpen their axes mid-swing, the ones who grind relentlessly while stepping back to reassess, adapt, and refine their edge. History's greatest innovators mastered this balance. Einstein revolutionized physics not through mindless labor, but by pausing to question Newton's laws. Amazon didn't dominate by merely scaling. Bezos embedded day one thinking, forcing relentless reinvention amid growth. This duality is the difference between burnout and breakthroughs. Chopping wood builds muscle, but sharpening the axe ensures every strike lands deeper. The data proves that companies that allocate 20% of time to strategy during execution grow 3x faster than those stuck in motionless planning or mindless hustle. Stagnation waits for those who only act. Oblivion swallows those who only theorize. The victors? They sweat with a whetstone in hand, knowing mastery lives at the intersection of doing and thinking. If this hit your soul, don't just scroll subscribe and turn wisdom into winning. Your future self will thank you.